Hi guys, welcome to Classic Rock and Country Music Facts and Trivia. Appreciate you being here. Before we get started, I ask you to please subscribe. Thank you. Today's video is on Miss Janis Joplin and the life story that you may not know about. Let's take a look. Janis Joplin was a singer like no other. Her career was brief, and her music remains powerful and moving. A singer from Port Arthur, Texas, had incomparable vocals that were unfettered, raw, and straight from the heart. She was inspired by a blues icon like Beverly and Bessie Smith, and she stood in stark contrast to other women singing at the time with a softer, folkier touch. Her energy was fueled by a relentless heroin addiction and heavy drinking. Southern comfort was her bottle of choice. Behind her bawdy, brassy image was a sensitive, scarred, and shy woman who loved to read. "I'm a victim of my own insides," she once said. "There was a time when I wanted to know everything. It used to make me very unhappy, all that feeling. I just didn't know what to do with it. Now I've learned to make that feeling work for me. I'm full of emotion and I want to release. And if you're on stage and if it's really working, then you've got the audience with you. It's a oneness you feel." Janis Joplin died of an accidental drug overdose at a tragic age of 27, but she packed a lot of living and music into those few years. Here's some things that you may not know about the singer, drawing from biographies, news accounts, interviews, and historical archives. In the 50s, growing up, she did not fit in. When she was young, she was a good student, sang in church choir, but she was a misfit and a rebel in high school. She and friends traveled to bars by nearby Louisiana, and she began listening to blues and jazz artists like Beverly and Bessie Smith and Maul Rainey, as well as the folk singer Odetta. She took secretarial classes at college. After high school, she studied at Lamar State College of Technology in nearby Beaumont, Texas. And at Port Arthur College, she took secretarial courses. She worked in a local library one summer and also waitress before moving to LA in 61. 62, she was playing gigs in Austin. She was back in Texas in 62, studying art in the University of Texas at Austin. Played gigs in informal venues on campus and is well known Threadgill's a bar set in a former gas station. 63, she headed to San Francisco. She left school in hopes of getting her musical career off the ground. She performed on a side stage at a 63 Monterey Folk Festival. And then in 1963, the drinking, drugs, and Bessie Smith. Living in the Bay Area in 63, she began performing the bluesy songs of Bessie Smith. Her drug use increased, as did her drinking. Her trademark liquor was Southern Comfort. 66 and 67, joining Big Brother performing at Monterey. She auditioned and joined a new rock band in San Francisco, Big Brother and the Holding Company. The band grew popular in the Bay Area, and their big break came with their performance at the Monterey Pop Festival in 67. Their onstage hit was Ball and Chain, a song originally sung by the legendary Big Mama Thornton. That showcased Joplin's now legendary vocals. Cheap Thrills go gold in 68. In the wake of her Monterey performance, Big Brother signed with Columbia Records, and Art Grossman, who managed the band, Bob Dylan, and Peter, Paul, and Mary, became their manager. Their first album for Columbia, Cheap Thrills, in 68 went gold with hits like Piece of My Heart and Summertime, but the attention paid to Joplin's talents caused tension among band members. 68 also, R. Crumb makes his mark on Cheap Thrills. The design of Cheap Thrills cover was created by underground cartoonist R. Crumb. Crumb would become famous for such comic creations as Fritz the Cat and Mr. Natural. In 69, she was arrested in Tampa. Touring in 69, she was arrested for the use of vulgar and indecent language in a performance in Tampa, Florida. Unlike the Doors' Jim Morrison, who was arrested on stage during Florida performance earlier that year, she was allowed to finish the show and was handcuffed to the backstage. She was released on a $504 bond and eventually was fined $200. In 69, she was singing with Tina Turner. Her appearance on television, she admitted that she was a major fan of singer Tina Turner. In November of that year, Joplin made an impromptu appearance with Turner during a show at Madison Square Garden, and the two sang a duet. Turner was opening for the Rolling Stones. 69 and 70, a battle with heroin. Joplin grew addicted to heroin. She tried to kick the habit several times, including during a trip in the early 70s to Brazil. but she relapsed later that year while recording her second album, Pearl, in L.A. In 1969, she made the cover of Newsweek. She appeared on the cover of Newsweek magazine next to headline Rebirth of the Blues. She had been slated to grace the cover a month earlier, but was bumped off with the death of former President Dwight Eisenhower. In 1969, singing with Tom Jones. She appeared with the singer Tom Jones to sing Raise Your Hands on his television show. This is Tom Jones in 1969. He recalled later that she told him that she didn't do variety shows, but she admired his voice and made an exception for him. 70, making Pearl in L.A. In Los Angeles, Joplin was recording the album Pearl with a full tilt boogie band in 70. She wrote the album Cut, Move Over, and co-wrote an a cappella ditty, Mercedes-Benz, with a beat poet named Michael McClure. 1970, singer then 27 years old, accidentally overdosed on October 4th of 1970 in a room at Hollywood Landmark Hotel after she was cremated. Her ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean along Stenton Beach in Northern California. There you go. I know it's a little bit longer than normal, but very interesting life. Very tragic life. Kind of sad because she was a very talented woman. That's all I have for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day. God bless. I'll be praying for you.